Hey, what's going on, y'all? Alright, so going to do the trunk install today. So first thing I'm attempting to do is, of course, move over the camera and trunk release button. So I've been comparing this trunk to lots of pictures of the successful automotive Bella trunk, and some of the things that I've noticed is so the way how I've seen these mount on the successful automotive Bella trunk is, it seems like they've actually used this bracket, and the trunk has brackets on the inside whereas this one does not. So I'm gonna have to find a way to try to make it work here, because I do not have any way to bolt this to stay in place. So that's the first thing I'm trying to deal with. I may try to do that last and possibly maybe just try to install the trunk just so you can see how it fits. So I think that would probably be the better way to go. And I don't think it's raining anytime soon, so as long as I can find a way to plug those, I should be good. And move over the taillights. So actually, yeah, let me go ahead and do that. So let me install the trunk first, and then I'll figure out a way to put the trunk button, because I will have to Dremel that out too. So that's why I have the kit out. So, all right, let's do that. Okay, please excuse the mess in the trunk. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop the lock tab, the C-clip. I guess that's what the proper term would be. So I'm gonna pop this off so I can remove this. And then I'm gonna take the 210, one there, one there. I'll remove the harness. I'll undo these clips to get to reverse button, and to be able to remove the reverse lights. I think that's pretty much it that I'm gonna do. So everything is pretty self-explanatory in terms of removing, you know, these, you put a flat head in and it kind of comes off. So nothing too complicated. So let me go ahead and get to work on that first. All right, so got the interior trim off. Everything pretty much pops off. I mean, if you aren't unsure about how this comes off, you literally just pry in and pop it, because it's only got the tab that's holding it. This also pops off too, because that normally goes here. So once you pop it off, you can kind of like slide it through the slit hole, this. So from here, you have the 8 mils that hold the reverse light, 3 of those. You got 2 10 mils that hold the latch. I will have to undo these to pull the wiring through here, and then snake that through the new trunk. So that's the only thing I need to do right now. So let me go ahead and do that first. All right, so all the wiring has been unplugged. Reverse light, the latch, camera, button. So now I pull that out. Just trying to snake it through. This is a two-handed job, but I just wanted, you can kind of see it's just like kind of coming through there. It's kind of stuck, but just wanted to show you what it kind of looks like when you have it all unplugged. So let me just make this trunk bare real quick. All right, so I just pulled the wiring harness out. You can kind of see, just kind of let it dangle. This is how it looks when it's bare. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take out the 210, take off the C-clip, take off the shock, and after that, I should be good to remove it. All right, so to get the C-clip out, what I'm doing is pretty much just prying. See. Just be careful because there's some spring action in there. Oh, not as much, I guess. All right, so I've loosened the top. I'm gonna pull this one out to get access to this one using a socket. All right, so another aspect I want to record is to kind of take note of the current gap of the OE trunk. Right, so let's just say if we can get this to focus. So gap is about 4 millimeters, right? Let's see, is it the same? Yeah, so 4 millimeters. Yep, 4. So fitment wise, we're shooting for 4 mil gap on each side. Okay, so comparing the carbon trunk, or the fiberglass carbon trunk to the OE, most of the holes are there. These, some of the clips. So this one isn't out, but I don't think that's a much needed one. Got the center. So you can see I currently don't have a way to mount it. And the bolt holes for those are fine. Alright, let me go ahead and transfer everything over and see how it looks. Okay, so turn signals aren't 100% flush because the holes aren't perfectly, I guess, in the position where they need to be. So it's very raised back here. I mean, I'm sure when I tighten it, it'll pull it, but because it's fiberglass, I can't do much. I'll probably have to try to put some rubber washers or something also. You can kind of see there's that gap. And then on this side, it's even worse, where the hole is too far to the left, so I'll have to probably enlarge it. That way the stud is able to pull through. So I can't even push it because I'm not trying to crack it or anything. Also went ahead and did a quick weight of both the trunk, the carbon trunk, and the OE trunk with the camera and carbon spoiler on it. So I weigh 178. The OE trunk with the camera and trunk carbon spoiler was 194. So, you know, what was that? 26.2. And the carbon trunk with me was 186, so that's like 15.8. So a little bit of weight savings. I mean, you add on back the camera, that's probably like, I mean, that's not very much. So I needed some weight saving, but not significant. All right, so have the trunk semi on, and as you would expect from something that doesn't have that great of quality control. The gaps are significantly huge. So I believe when we first measured it, OE was like 4 millimeters. This is 7. And then this is about 6. And this is about even. This is like 7 on each side. And I think the shocks are, of course, like stronger. So it's kind of raised up, because I can kind of still push down on it to get it to come down. But yeah, so I'm gonna tighten the bolts and then try to figure out how to put everything back together since it's raining tomorrow. So yeah, so let me do the best I can to put everything back together to show you how it would look like complete. And then we'll go over the bads about this particular trunk and whether, you know, it's worth it or not. Okay, so as I had mentioned earlier, the driver's side didn't line up for the tail light, so I had to pretty much enlarge the hole and get it the best I could. This is just a temporary setup. I'm gonna go back in to put some rubber washers inside. I think I'm gonna try to enlarge the hole to get it to be centered better. This side wasn't too bad, but I may still do the same, because I mean, overall that doesn't look bad, but I mean, that's pretty close, I suppose. There's a little bit of gap there, but at least both sides has a gap. Bolted this down, not sure if it's lined up to the latch, so I have to double check. I did have to enlarge in the top hole. I didn't enlarge in this one big enough yet. It's just temporary. I think I'm gonna keep it like this. I'm not gonna put the trim piece in. So let's go ahead and close it. Let's see. I did, just double check. I did connect it. Okay, I got it. I did connect it. And the trunk is okay. So it's not lined up. I think it's too far forward. Yeah, I think it's too far forward, so I gotta bring it back in. Let me adjust that. All right, so let's close the trunk and see. Okay. So this is the gap. Yeah, this gap is huge. Yeah. That's how big is that gap? Let's see. It's roughly 5 mils. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys be the judge. What do you guys think? So again, I think with shipping everything, it was maybe, I think, 800 bucks out the door. So I think if you buy from Successful Automotive, that's probably like 1,200. If you get the fiberglass, it might be 1,000. But I mean, it looks better if you get it from them. I mean, like Jalisco sells one too. I don't know how there is. I remember reading that someone said that theirs had a lot of gaps too. So you know, who knows where they got theirs from. But I mean, from a distance, it's okay. But if you're someone who is very detail oriented, this is probably a no-go. You can kind of see. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some adjusting I can do. I'm gonna keep playing with it to see, but I mean, there's not much you can do with gaps like this. Like, there's nothing that you can, like, you close that gap with. I mean, this height, maybe I can play around with it, but yeah. So at the end of the day, what is my verdict? I would say no. I think the money saved isn't worth the fitment. I was willing to try it just to see, because, you know, everybody always goes to say, like, oh, Alibaba is just where everybody sources their stuff. I mean, I bought intakes from them. The intakes are fine. I think it's just a pipe. But when it's such a large piece like this, quality control is definitely something you want a part of the production. So, all right, that's it. I hope this video helps in some of y'all's decision on what parts to get off of Alibaba or not to get off of Alibaba. All right, thanks guys.